Today I'm going to talk about the use of e-signatures in Hong Kong, the key points around the law, what's actually required for them to be valid, some examples of use including where they can't be used, and then some key practical points. So there's a law called the Electronic Transactions Ordinance, and this sets out what you can and cannot use them for and what exactly an e-signature is. The key points I have here. So for any transactions not involving any government entity, then e-signatures are valid and enforceable. And those kind of e-signatures can be quite broad. So they can be a stylus on a touchscreen, some kind of online tool like Zeegle or DocuSign. That's a fine format for them. If you are involving a government entity, then you need a more formal digital signature. So, for example, the Hong Kong Post Office will issue you an e-signature, and that has to be attached. It's a lot more laborious, and the benefits of an e-signature kind of go away with that. Some key requirements here. The e-signature has to be attached to or logically associated with the electronic message. So in practical terms, that means you can see the signature within the contract that's signed. The process must be reliable and kind of fit for purpose. And the recipient must consent to the signatory using an e-signature. So in general terms, if both sides are both signing by e-signature, then that's clear and obvious. If only one side is signing, then it should be clear that it is an e-signature and they can then accept that. Where can they be used? Well, in the main, simple contracts and minutes and resolutions. Those are the 2 points where I see the most efficiencies gained by using e-signatures in Hong Kong. And those can be across geography, and they can be with multiple different parties, as long as not with the government. Things to avoid, because either the law says you can't or it's a push too far. Powers of attorney, any documents concerning land or property transactions, oaths, affidavits, stat declarations, wills rather, and any kind of court proceedings. And then, as I said on the last slide, any transactions involving government entities, the signatures have got to be supported by digital signature that's recognized, etc., etc. So really, the main focus here is digital contracts, minutes and resolutions, scope of services, an NDA, a contract for IT services. Those are all easy wins for you to do e-signatures on. So practically, make sure you can use the document for e-signing. If you're going across jurisdictions, make sure that the other jurisdiction will allow it as well and how enforceable it is. Make sure you've authenticated the identity of the party signing. So, you've connected it to the correct email address. You've got some correspondence supporting their consent to sign, etc. Consider security. I mean, really how robust is it? So, someone drawing on a PDF file, a signature, is, I would suggest, less secure than something like Zeegle, where they have two-factor authentication around it. And then very importantly is make sure you take a copy, download a copy of the signed document, just in case it doesn't stay in that cloud forever. And I think it's a good idea to actually send that around the parties as well, because it's a further documentary trace that we have signed this and we've all consented and then nothing's gone wrong. That's it. E-signatures save a lot of time. We use them in the business an awful lot, so please consider using them. Any questions, please ask.